Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So today I will be watching a video by Ashley Pearson Khan titled My Revert Story, What Led Me to Islam. So this is another revert story of someone, I'm not sure what is the religion before that, but embraced Islam afterwards. And I guess without further ado, let's watch.
Assalamualaikum, my name is
Alaikum
Ashley
salam.
and I have been thinking about making this video for so long. So I wanted to share the story of how I found Islam, converted, because I get asked so much. So I converted in June of 2019. So at this point it's been just a little bit over a year, alhamdulillah. It's been quite a journey, and for some people it looked like my journey was 1 month, but for me I think it probably started when I was in college. So I guess I could start there, and that's usually where I start. But for those of you who, most of you probably don't know me, so I did want to say I have grown up in the United States, in the state of Arkansas, so a southern state where we kind of live in what we call the Bible Belt. So Christianity.
So yeah, just a question, I guess, from my ignorance or lack of knowledge about this, because I've heard the Bible Belt being referred to a number of times before from, I don't know, from people, from talk shows, etc. But why is it called that? I'm assuming because mostly it is related to Christian. Most of the people there Christian. But what is the belt? Is it because it's shaped like a belt, or it goes across America on the southern part? That's my guess. But if it means different thing, perhaps someone can share that knowledge or information, I guess.
It is very big. A lot of people go to church. And then where I grew up, it's predominantly white people, and you go to church and you don't learn about a lot of religions. You don't have a lot of experience, I guess, with the outside world, you could say. So when I went to college is really when I got exposed to people of other cultures, and even people of color, to be honest. So crazy to I guess talk about it. It typically is a topic of conversation when I tell people where I grew up.
I guess in this world there are places like that where the population is almost all or largely homogeneous, of one race and one religion, right? So I think there are several things, not several things, there are several places in the world that are like that, and where if you go into that surrounding, and those people might not be that much exposed to other religion, other culture, other race, right? So yeah, in Malaysia, there are some part of Malaysia, I think you can see it is almost something like that as well, where is almost all people there are Malay, for example, and they are not exposed to other races and religion. But for the most part nowadays, I think we are, especially the urban areas, we should already see other people, right?
So if you want to Google it, I grew up in Harrison, Arkansas. So I went to college, and when I was, I believe, a sophomore, maybe a junior, it's all kind of a blur. All the semesters kind of run together when you look back. So I saw a flyer for a program, and they partner American students with international students. And I thought that would be really cool, just like a fun experience, meet a new friend, learn something, be able to teach them something. And so it is a mentorship program where you were only required to speak with them once a week or so. You can email back and forth or meet up. So I remember going into this classroom, and it I think was bigger than they expected because it was a little chaotic. So eventually we were all sitting in these desks, and they kind of had the American students on one side, international students on the other. And I remember I was looking around the room trying to, you know, just kind of get a feel for everything, and I looked back and there was a girl sitting there. There were two girls wearing hijab talking, and I thought, that's her, that's my partner, I just know it is. So at one point, the woman kind of running the show is having people stand up and partnering them. And I can tell, like, she's going to be really close to standing up at the same time I am. So when I saw her get ready to stand up, I stood up and the lady paired us together. And my partner was in grad school, originally from Saudi Arabia, and we became really good friends. So I got to spend about 2 years or so with her and learned so much. So we taught each other a lot, and you know, looking back, I don't really remember talking about religion a whole lot. That was not ever really just the main topic. I think I asked maybe a couple of questions, and I did see if we went out to eat together. I remember someone staring at her, and at first I thought, why are they staring at us? And then I realized it's because of her hijab. And I always wanted to stick up for her, and I wanted to be there for her. So eventually when we graduated, so I graduated with my bachelor's, and then she graduated with her master's, just a day apart. So
meaning that the girl from the Saudi Arabia is an older lady, right? If I get the story correct.
she left, and then that following January, I was in grad school, and the night before World Hijab Day, so World Hijab Day is February 1st every year. So the night before I find out about it, right? So I think Facebook. So I decided to take part in World Hijab Day. So I watched YouTube videos, and it's so funny to me looking back because I think one of the first videos I ever watched was by Lena Snowbar. Her handle is with Lovely. I took an infinity scarf I had from my closet. I practiced, and it's so funny because looking back now, I actually reached out to somebody who had converted, and I said, hey, does this look okay? And she said, yeah, that looks great. So I did my best to recreate it the next morning, and I remember reaching for the door handle to leave my apartment, and I hesitated, and I thought, I've never hesitated before. I've been self-conscious about, you know, outfits and things like that, and getting ready, and you know, how my hair looked. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to be treated today. But I was kind of trying to prepare myself to handle anything that came at me, I guess you could say. So I did get some funny looks because I was a graduate assistant, so I did have a job on campus, and so everybody's like, you know, what are you doing? And then some people were like, oh, I wish I had known so I could participate too. So I had a really good day. I posted on social media and got a lot of positive feedback, especially from other Muslims. They really appreciated it. So I really threw myself into certain research about World Hijab Day, and I wanted to become an ambassador. So that following year, I became an ambassador. I think that was 2017, and I ended up moving to a larger area, larger city, but still kind of small for Arkansas. But I worked on a different college campus, so I actually attended their day and kind of hung around with them, wore it again. And then the next year, so 2018, I said I want to hold my own event in the city. So
all these years, because I thought there would be some significant trigger point between her and the friend from Saudi Arabia, but it doesn't seem so. Maybe some seed of something there, but year after year after year, it's only her and her appreciation or attachment with hijab and hijab day, right? Even the friend, because she identified and wanted to be linked up with that friend, is because she mentioned about seeing her wearing hijab, right? So that's quite interesting as a starting point, and as a, you know, I'm not sure, as a trigger factor, or as a factor that leads her bit by bit by bit. I'm not sure how this story will end yet, but let's see.
I had told some girls at the college or at the university that I wanted to hold this event, so they said something to some women at the mosque who got in contact with me and said, hey, we want to help you. So when we had a little meeting, and I remember I went to a small mosque that's kind of used for like classes and things like that. And I go in and I talk to this man and I told him who I was waiting for. He went back in a room because he was doing something. He comes back out and he offers me a snack and he shows me where the restroom is. And I come back out from the restroom and he offers me a piece of pie. And he kept like, just going back and forth like he wanted to talk to me, but he wasn't sure. And at one point he said, here you go. And he gives me a calendar with like pictures of mosques. And I thought, well, that's really cool. And then he handed me like 2 Qurans, and I was like, cool, I can read these and like maybe, that'll help me be a better advocate and be more understanding of Islam. And he sat down next to me and was talking at one point, and there were more people starting to gather in for the meeting. And before we started the meeting, he said, the way that the media portrays our religion, and he mentioned that and some other things. He said it's just the most misunderstood religion, and that really stuck with me. I thought I need to learn things for myself for sure. And so at the meeting, the women agreed to help me, and then they said we're gonna go visit churches for World Hijab Day and give the women scarves and teach them about it. And so they do a lot of interfaith events. So we helped each other out. And when it was all over, World Hijab Day was done, I said, I'm gonna miss you guys, so maybe during Ramadan I can come and visit you at the mosque. And I knew that World Hijab Day did a 30-day hijab challenge, and I just thought, that's a lot, and I just don't know if I can do it, because I didn't want to put it on and try and then fail, to be honest. So I thought about it for a while. I had a few months, because Ramadan was in, I think, April that year. And I decided to do it. And I thought, if I'm going to do the 30-day hijab challenge and I'm going to visit them at the mosque, I might as well fast as well.
Okay, all this while, because my question is, because all this while, in the story, her family is not ever mentioned in the picture, right? And because she mentioned early on she was raised in the Bible Belt, right? But to think about it, she didn't mention whether her family themselves are Christian, right? So because I was wondering what is the how to say, reaction of the family, but thinking about that she was in college and perhaps at this time already working or something, so maybe it's not really in the picture as much, because she is living by herself. That is my assumption at best, of course, because the family is not mentioned here.
So I wore the hijab as much as I could out and about. I let work know, hey, I'm going to be wearing this. And I was at...
Is it easy for a workplace to accept that? If someone from the workplace says, okay, I'm going to try this hijab challenge, and every time I come to work I will be looking like this. Is it easy? Well, unless, okay, to think about it, if the workplace is accommodative to a Muslim woman working there, so it shouldn't be that weird, right? It's just that the colleague might think, why are you doing this? That's basically what I was thinking.
At the mosque almost every night. There were a couple of nights I couldn't go because of work, because I was traveling at the time. And I noticed about a week or so, in maybe 2 weeks, as I was learning more, I could feel this change happening. And no one ever pushed me or anything. They just said, hey, if you have any questions, let us know. Or if something was going on that maybe I wouldn't have known why it was happening or what it was exactly, somebody would offer up the information. And I eventually asked my friend to teach me how to pray. And I was like reading the Quran. I would get up for suhoor and like watch people's stories, and I was like trying to learn about Islam. And that Lena came back around, the women from the Salam Girl podcast. I discovered them, and so there was just so much going on. I was learning so much, and I was just really trying to dive into it, and I wanted to be a better advocate was really what my goal had been. But by the end of it, I was really falling in love with the religion. So one night, I'm at the mosque. It's toward the end of Ramadan. Everyone's praying, and I'm watching, and I'm reading the Quran. And I was actually still toward the beginning of the Quran when God is actually speaking to Mary about Jesus and having a baby. And I thought it was so cool, all of the parallels between like Christianity and Islam, since I had a Christian background. And I remember a woman came up to me, and some people were very surprised that I wasn't Muslim already. They said I wore the hijab well, and they had seen me there so often, and I really appreciated the.
I would assume the same too, right? Because how to say this? Of course, with the male, there's no symbol, there's no, dress symbol that signifies the change. But for women, hijab is one of them, right? But just seeing someone being at the mosque or the masjid often, because even many Muslim do not frequent the masjid. So if I see some guy always there at the masjid, my first assumption is he's a good Muslim, right? And I would be surprised that if they, no, I'm not a Muslim. So why are you here so frequent, right? So that would be my thought as well.
The compliments about the hijab. She asked me, she said, "Why do you hesitate?" And I thought about it for a second, and I thought, I don't know. I really don't know what's holding me back anymore, because I had fought myself a little bit, my family's not Muslim, it's a huge life change, but I just felt this overwhelming sense of peace, just a peace that I hadn't really felt before. Because with Christianity, I went to church off and on. We didn't start going to church until I was 12. And then throughout college, it was off and on, kind of. And when I moved to the city on my own, I tried again, and something always felt like it was missing. And so I said, I'm going to take my Shahada. So I texted one of my friends, and I let her know. So I did it the last day of Ramadan, and it's there's hardly any words to describe how amazing it is, even just sitting here talking about it. It's been amazing, and I'm so grateful. Allah has blessed me tremendously, and I wouldn't change a thing. So that's pretty much my story. I welcome any questions in the comments. Maybe I didn't really talk about something. I will say, since I converted, I just ended up not taking my hijab off, and I think the hijab was kind of one of those things that helped. Like, I got very comfortable, and to me the hijab helps me remember Allah, which is so important, and it reminds me of my faith, and it's an outward appearance of my faith. And then, modesty is important too. I enjoy just everything. I love my hijab. Like, I can't imagine not having it, and being Muslim, I can't imagine that. So my family, I know I'll get this question too, so I'll go ahead and answer it. How did
that was the question that I was, because I was checking whether the video was going to end, and whether, because she said you can ask question, whether I would actually ask question in the comment section, because she didn't mention once about the family and what's the reaction would be, and is there any resistance, etc. So I guess she just remembered to touch on this, I guess.
How did your family respond? So I think that they were all a little surprised and thrown off. They offered some support. I noticed later that support wavered a bit. I know it's confusing. So I do, of course, visit them for their holidays like Christmas. I'm there to support them. And then, they know when I'm fasting and things like that. So there's still a lot of obstacles and learning on both sides. But for the most part, I've had just such a really great community anyway. And I definitely threw myself in to like classes to like learn Arabic, and I've gone to Sunday school. So there's always going to be so much to learn about, and I'm trying to kind of take my family on that journey with me as much as I can without overwhelming them. But alhamdulillah, I found this beautiful religion and I'm so grateful for it. So again, please go ahead and drop some comments below. I'd love to know if you guys want to know more, and follow me on this journey as I continue. So thanks for watching.
Okay, so that was the story by, what was this? Ashley Pearson Khan. So that was the, so that was the first time I ever watched a video by her, because I just, meaning, I think the way YouTube works is that they know the type of videos that I watch, and sometimes they pop up suggestion of videos that is related to the video that you watch, right? So this is posted September 9 of this year, of course, so it is 1 month ago, right? So maybe I'll just go after this to see her channel and see whether there's any other video related to the topic of, well, why she chose to revert. She already alluded to that in terms of it give her peace. I think that's the main thing, because something that is missing before, she find it here, right? So basically that's the storyline that I can understand. In terms of the family, the question that I was wondering about, oops, is the battery going to be out? Okay, sorry, so my laptop was going to be, I forgot to charge. Okay, anyway, she did mention, because at the end I was thinking about that question about the family reaction, and then she also remembered, and then, but she mentioned a bit about how it was, and then suddenly shifted back to the community that she have around her that is supportive, right? So I think that is the reality of people that already, you know, live somewhere on your own, because you are working and you are apart from your family, right? So the family factor is not how to say, such a big factor, it would seem, right? Because for the most part, most people have that kind of life, right? So you are away from your family, you will meet them once, twice, or 3 times a year for the holidays, etc. So it would be different, because in some stories it would be very different, because they are still living with the parent, right? So that would be difficult or more obvious in terms of the daily interaction, etc. But anyway, that is my reaction. She seems happy, alhamdulillah. I was wondering about the name though, Ashley Pearson Khan, whether she's married to someone with a Khan name or something. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll find it out. Thank you for watching. See you next time.